solo
Estamos.
eso vale. Are we on?
Estamos.
Are we on?
Yes.
Can you hear us? Wait, I didn't even
think
get this. We're talking car stuff. Hi, guys.
Car stuff. Yeah, right. Let me see. Yeah, they are. Yeah.
People
We
are
are
on.
on it.
There you go. Holy mackerel. Did you hear that? That happened in church on Sunday. Something similar to that. Anyway. Here we are. Sunday leftovers.
Sunday leftovers.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks, hasn't it?
No,
I feel like we have to lean
Last
in.
week. Last week.
Who did Sunday leftovers last week?
We did.
No, we didn't.
No?
No.
Yes, we did.
Anyway.
I don't know.
Did we? No, I don't
It
think we
was
did.
so weird.
Anyway, so I woke
But-
up this morning.
I mean, I'm glad that today we are doing this.
Good.
We are challenging the weather.
No, it's
I
not going
hope
to rain. It's
it's
just Texas.
not
What are you
going
talking
to
about?
rain.
It either doesn't rain or it floods. That's your two options. What do you want? No rain, drought, or flood? So here we are. I woke up this morning and thought, oh my God, it's Tuesday. We have to talk about what happened on Sunday. And
Right.
I literally stared at the ceiling for about 5 minutes thinking, what did we talk about on Sunday? I have absolutely no idea. I'm already deep into next Sunday.
It happened to me just Sunday after the afternoon.
Yeah.
Sunday. Yeah. Sometimes I don't remember what I
It's
preached.
bad when you wake up
what
from
I
your nap
preached.
and you look over and you look at your wife and you're like, "What's your name?" That's how you know you're getting old. Anyway,
That's so
we were in the second conversation around why Jesus, and these right now we're looking at some stories from the book of Luke. That's what the lectionary
Right.
has us doing. So we were in Luke 13, and we were talking about the time Jesus gets invited to an important affair, a social gathering, and the first thing he notices is everybody jockeying for positions of honor. And so it's the conversation around, hey guys, when you're invited to a wedding feast or something like this, take the low seat, because it's not the end of the world to be promoted. What's disgraceful is to be told you've overranked your position and now you need to move down. And so right after I remembered what we talked about, these are all Google Docs, so it's not like I can't get back to it, but my brain is on to the next. I'm already deep into Luke 14, terrified about the next passage because it's a hard one. But anyway, once I figured out and got my bearings and look at the back at where we had been, as is often the case with the scriptures, at least from my perspective, I want to sit with these stories and I want to listen completely to what correction can they deliver. Now, I don't mean this in a guilty, in a shameful way, like I'm a worm. What is the Bible? No. I'm not talking about identity. I'm not talking about love of God or any of those things. But I'm just saying, stories like that bring conviction. The parables of Jesus, at least mostly in the book of Luke, are always going to address who's been included and who's been excluded, and how do we get that flipped. And so,
Right.
so what is the correction, right? What does the passage correct in me? And so my answer to that would be simply, it's a reminder to not assume that the good things or the things we want or the things we need can only come from the places that we think that they can come from. I think that the correction in the story is, don't assume that what you most need is at the head of the table. Sometimes what you need is in the place where you least expect it, right?
Right.
As human beings, it's lightning fast how quickly we assess a situation and determine whether or not this situation is going to give me something that I need. We micro-read everything. It's ancient evolution. It comes from mostly the brainstem, which is precognitive, right? We assess situations. What is the safety here? What is the danger here? Can this person give me something that I need here or not? And I just feel convicted around how easy it is for me to assume that there's nothing to be gained in the part of the table where I'd rather not be. I want to be in first class, not in coach, right? And so that's what's lingering. That's the leftover. That's the meatloaf with a little extra ketchup on it today for me, is really this thinking of where are the places in my life, or who are the people in my life, or where are the scenarios or situations in my life where I don't think I have anything to learn, because I'm willing to bet you that there is a better way to be in those places. So that's what's kicking around in my heart today. And it's possible, if not likely, it's likely, it's that this has been shaped by the passing of Susie Angel, one of our dear ANCers.
Oh my, yeah.
And
Yeah,
I had
catch.
a dozen conversations in a room with people at her funeral. And if I had to summarize the byline of those conversations, it would be people would look at Susie in her situation and assume things about her. I I wonder if people assumed a brilliant mind and an editor and an incredible ally and supporter, someone who was in love with movement and beauty and things that you don't necessarily assume and assess. And so maybe I'm just feeling some conviction around that as well. And where are those places in my life and in my, my journey and in my congregation and those things that we just to think, well, there's nothing here for me. Well, I think Jesus would say, slow down, and there are conversations that happen at that side of the table that are essential, right? So to clarify,
So
it's not that people,
I like it.
unworthy people are collected here and worthy people are collected here. It's not that these people should feel lucky to be included. No. I think there's something profound about hanging with people who are happy to be involved. That's no statement of their value. That's no statement of their capacities or their resources. But we weed through situations and we think, I want to be there because that's influence, but I don't want to be there because that's just a line to wade in. And I think we get that wrong, and we miss beautiful things. So,
In the first century, one of the metaphors,
yeah,
more often metaphors about the kingdom of God or heaven, was that the
banquet.
dinner, the banquet.
yeah.
And so it's
Yeah.
it's a reminder for us
Certainly
too.
in Luke. Luke uses this all the time. Anytime Luke talks about a lot of parties.
Yes.
Immediately following that passage in Luke 13, there's another story about an actual banquet,
Yeah,
which feels a little
we
less
are eating all the time.
right. Feels a little bit less like a parable and more like an actual story. But when Luke deploys the metaphor of a banquet or a gathering or a wedding feast or whatever, it's pretty obvious that what he's describing is the mechanics of how the kingdom of God functioned. Now, you guys know, I don't love kingdom language. That's
Yeah.
Greek.
Yeah.
I would prefer the Aramaic concept, which I believe is what Jesus actually spoke, which was something much more related to a way of doing social empowerment in a circle that has no center. I for various reasons, believe that's a better translation. But in the kingdom language, from the perspective of Luke, the banquet is the metaphor.
Yeah.
And, there is no place in that kingdom that is a place of dishonor. That's where we make our mistakes.
But
Yeah.
but we are used to hierarchy and we are used to
Yes.
positions and all of that.
Yes.
And that's why we misjudge people.
That's right.
And we think about people, okay, this is your place and this is my place. Of course, my place is better.
That's right. That's right. And it's just
it's a mechanic that we need to.
it's not a this is right, this is wrong, it's sin, this is God's gonna be mad. It's simply a question of can we embrace all the places from which we can learn to be the kind of people that live in the world the way Jesus lived in the world? Can we do that? That's the question. Can we trust that life will deliver us the opportunities to learn all that we need to learn? Which is a different question of where's the right place to be at the banquet table.
Right.
That doesn't make any
And I like also that idea, thing that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Actually, you did it just a few minutes before we started the streaming.
Right.
About invite people that are not able to pay you back.
Right. Yeah.
I love that idea because our society and we move and we make decisions
Yeah.
according to that thing. So, I mean,
Yeah.
how I could take advantage of this.
Yeah, and I mentioned this on Sunday.
I'm investing in these people or I'm wasting in these people.
Yeah. Are these people donors? Are these people supporters? Are these people philanthropists? Do they
Yeah.
have large staffs, and do they run big companies, and do they have lots of influence? Yeah. Yeah. I think the gospel of Jesus is certainly the way of Jesus being in the world, or let's say the stories his friends remember about him definitely run counter to that, don't they? The stories that stuck in the minds of Luke and Mark and John are the sorts of stories that would convey a different way of being alive in the world, which is make no assumptions about places of honor or dishonor.
Sure.
Make no assumptions. There's something that can be learned everywhere, and it's not like we're on a geocaching treasure hunt where we have to go say, okay, we've been in all these places. The bottom line is, if we look at ourselves as the kind of people who deserve better, then we're setting ourselves up for a crash course, because life will deliver you plenty of opportunities to be a blessing instead of be angry about not getting the blessings you think you deserve. And I think that's the concept. And so if the question is why Jesus, or if the question is, I remember back in seminary 20 years ago, the question was, is any of this even real? Can we trust any of this? And my answer to that was, well, whether or not Jesus ever lived or not, which I think he did, but all these centuries later, there's still a community that does something very unnatural, which is it lives this way. There's a community around the teachings of this man who still continue to believe that being a blessing is a greater honor than accumulating those blessings.
Right.
So how do we argue against that? Like, at some point, the greatest proof that you would ever need that these teachings are real is that they've created a very peculiar community that looks at self-emptying as something desirable.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And I used this little refrain on Sunday, these little words. I was jogging the lakefront, as I often do, and it was just empty, squander, waste, and gain. Right? Lose, release, let go, and increase. That's the upside down, the flipped on its head, the counterintuitive way of Jesus in the world. And so it just continues. The moment these stories stop convicting me, we'll be done with them. I can move on to something else. But there's just so much here still, and I still see so many things in them that are worth looking at. And then I made this point, and I don't know if anybody caught it. Sometimes you wonder that flipping the tables of social structure, giving access to the people who aren't supposed to have that access, allowing people to move up that society assumes should be sat at least at a lower place, welcoming those who were previously left out, that is the natural outcome and the main goal of all good faith, be it Christian, Jewish, Islamic, Buddhist, whatever it may be. Here comes the rain. The outcome, the natural outcome of those sorts of things is where we can do interfaith dialogue and overlap, because the truth of the matter is you don't have to accept that Jesus was the clearest teacher on the principle, but go back to the principles of Judaism and look at what they are commanded to do with the foreigner and the outsider and the outcast. We're on the same rails here. We just pull it through the teachings of different rabbis, to be honest,
Right.
different teachers. So that may be controversial. That's okay.
It is.
It is. Okay.
It's not maybe. It is.
It may be controversial, but so anyway, there you go. Do we have any questions? Anybody popping in?
We have several comments from Brendan Flett.
Here, pop it over so I can see it. Y'all, we're about to get poured
okay.
on.
Yeah,
I can't read it from here.
Let me show you a few.
This happened to me at a wedding, waiting for everyone to take their seat at the reception. My seat ended up almost on the outskirts. I was told to take the seat next to the groom and bride. I love it.
And
I can't think of anyone who actually has had this happen to them. It lit a fire in my belly. I felt so grateful, honored, felt compelled to stand up and speak for great love of them, their friends and family. I was just in awe of the parable coming to fruition. Yeah, I love that. Well, that's never happened to me, but that's okay. I love that. I love that.
it's about to rain.
It's about to rain, and
It's about to rain, and we
got 13
equipment
minutes in.
here.
We have a lot of equipment. So Sunday Leftovers. Next week, we're going to continue with the teachings of Jesus in the book of Luke. And we're going to talk about a really difficult passage, one that I would really rather not talk about. And that, you know what? I say that a lot. I say that way too often.
Yeah.
I should probably say that
But
less.
maybe when I hear you saying that, I hear honesty.
Yeah, this is a hard one.
A lot of time we just sugarcoat everything. Everything's nice, but let's face it, it's
Yeah.
hard.
Let's just say
Sometimes
this.
it's just hard.
This is not fluffy Jesus
It's not
with
fluffy.
a cotton ball beard. This is this is a different Jesus. But anyway, there are many
Okay.
Jesuses, and I'm going to bring you a difficult one on Sunday. So
Okay.
blessings, peace.